Hello guys and welcome to a new episode of the Football Show. As today we're going to talk about yesterday's games from La Liga, the Premier League, Serie A, and also we're going to talk about the AFCON final. But let's start with the AFCON final. 2025 Morocco, between Senegal and Morocco, as it was, oh my god, what a final. I can't believe what I just saw yesterday in that final. I mean, it was a crazy final. Probably the best, alongside Argentina against France. It was the best final I've ever seen, ever. Like in terms of drama, in terms of chaos, in terms of refereeing decisions, in terms of the game. It was amazing. And before we get into the drama towards the end, which I'm going to talk about it, Senegal deserved to win. They deserved to win. For a lot of periods of the game, they were the better team. They were better than Morocco. I think Morocco did absolutely nothing for majority of the 90 minutes. Senegal was the better team. In general, it was mostly 50-50, but I think Senegal were a better team. They had more chances. Bono made some fantastic saves, which kept Morocco in the game to make it still 0-0. But, Senegal was a better team, but most of the time it was kind of 50-50, even though Morocco also didn't create many big chances. So, in general, Senegal were a better team, and if there was a team who was more likely to score, was Senegal. And then Senegal scored a goal where I don't understand why the referee blew the whistle. Why do you blow the whistle? There's nothing wrong with that foul. The guy didn't, he didn't push Hakimi. Hakimi was acting. How was that a foul? How can you blow the whistle and give it as a foul? I've absolutely. Why do you blow the whistle? That was perfectly a fine goal. Hit the post, but then a header. Perfectly fine goal. Why the referee did they disallow that goal? And then comes the penalty, because I looked at it around 15 times, 20 times. El Diouf, I think that's his name, if I'm not mistaken. El Diouf, yeah. I saw it. I saw it 150. I saw it millions of times, and I can't see where you actually can guarantee it's a penalty. Yeah, you could say he pulled down Brahim Diaz, but was it really? It's a bit soft. I think that the AFCON should have given different camera angles to be more clear about it, to be more clear for the referee. They only given one camera angle. They didn't give different camera angles. I mean, this is the AFCON final, and you can't give the tools to the referee to make the right decisions. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm not sure it's a penalty, by the way. I'm not sure it's a penalty, but I'm also not sure that it's not a penalty. So I'm sitting on the fence here because I'm not sure. It's kind of, yeah, you could say it's a penalty, but it's soft. It's soft, and I think the referee the people in the video should have given the referee different camera angles to be more clear, and he was clearly pressurized by the Moroccan fans, by Brahim Diaz, who was moaning and groaning about the decision. So I'm not sure it's a penalty. I'm not saying that it's a foregone conclusion. It's not a penalty, but I'm not sure it's a penalty. So again, the referee gave the decision, okay, and then when referee gave that penalty decision, it absolutely kicked off between the two managers, between the Senegal manager and the Moroccan managers, Regragui and Papethio, and then it got kicked off and it got heated after that. Papethio, the manager of Senegal, even told the players and everybody to leave the pitch, walk off the pitch, and refused to play, refused to carry on the game, and it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. I've never ever seen it, ever. This is I've seen this kind of things happen before. Once, I think, I don't remember which match, but I've seen it before happen, but not in a cup final. Not in a cup final. I mean, only in AFCON that can happen. Only in AFCON that can happen. And it was kicking off, and the Pape Theo was angry. He was, telling the players walk off the pitch, and he was shouting and screaming. And then it got like it lasted like for 10-15 minutes or something like that. And then I think Leroy, I think, one of the bosses for Senegal, or one of the employees, one of the guys who's working with Senegal national team, Leroy, I think, Claude Leroy, was telling Sadio Mane to, Mane was asking him, what do you do in my position? I was telling him, and he was telling him, it looked like that was the conversation. You never know that what could change, what could happen in a cup final. Anything can happen. So, yeah, and that led to Sadio Mane telling to the players, come back, let's play like men here. So, and that's amazing leadership from Leroy and from Sadio Mane. That's proper, proper leadership. I really liked it, leading by example, a proper leading example. So, yeah, but I understand Pape Theo's frustrations, and the players, Senegal, everybody's their frustrations of Senegal. The fans of Senegal got kicked off. They were even, fighting with the securities of Morocco. Bloody hell. So, it was crazy, honestly. The scenes that happened was crazy. I couldn't believe it, but I understand Senegal's frustrations, but what makes you know that it's guaranteed that Diaz was gonna score? Because you never know. Mendy could save it. So yeah, and however, I also agree with their frustrations. I agree with their frustrations, even though what I said was you never know, Mendy could save it, and I say that because, let's be honest, Morocco, and listen, people have been telling me this kind of narrative that, the referees were favouring Morocco in this competition, and I'm like, I don't believe this kind of nonsense, this kind of conspiracy theories. Yes, they're the host, but I remember they had some couple of decisions went against them in the Moroccan and Cameroon game. So, and then comes but when you see this kind of decisions. When you see this kind of decisions that happen in this final, not only the two decisions I mentioned, also in general of the game, can you really criticize the people who are saying, Morocco are being favoured by the referee? No. Because, let's be honest, it was too obvious. It was too obvious what's going on. Listen, in the past, me and people asking me, not in the football shows I do, but people asking me, why do you defend Morocco, they're favoured by the referees? And I say, no, they're a very good team, but you guys maybe don't want to accept it. They're a very good team and they've got quality players. But when you see this kind of things happen in this match, let's be honest, it was too obvious what's going on. It was too obvious. It was too obvious. I remember even before the Cameroon game where the CAF Federation of Africa, they had to change the referee because of something that the president of Morocco complained. So I'm like, it's too obvious. It was too obvious. Let's be honest. It was too obvious what was going on. It was too obvious. Let's be honest. It was too obvious. And yes, I understand Morocco are the host, so of course listen. Similar thing could happen to USA in the World Cup. Don't doubt that. Don't doubt. You see Infantino, Donald Trump being friends and all that kind of stuff. Don't doubt them that they agreed on something. Because let's be honest, there is corruption in football. You've seen corruption in football before. We've seen corruption before in bad ways, and there could be corruption also in the future in football. There's always corruption in life. It's just how it goes. It's unfortunately. So, and then there comes the penalty from Brahim Diaz, and when I see the penalty, first of all, that was a terrible penalty. What is Brahim Diaz doing? You have a chance to win your country the first trophy in 50 years, and you try a Penenka in a cup final in the last minute? That's brainless from Brahim Diaz. And you had this so many times because obviously Senegal players and manager was not happy. You had 10-15 minutes to think where to shoot, and all of that, you decided to try a Panenka. A Panenka? Really? That is so. Listen, if you wanna try a Panenka, you have to have a very good technique. It wasn't even a good Panenka. It was terrible, brainless from him. Brahim Diaz is a good player, but that was brainless from him. Why would you do that? You let your country down, and you had the chance to win their first trophy in 50 years, and you've let them down. Moroccan like fans are going to be Moroccan fans are going to be absolutely upset about Brahim Diaz, what he did for the rest of their lives. Brahim Diaz will, whenever he will have a night's sleep, he will always think about this moment. Always, because what are you doing? What are you doing? However, because of the things that happened before the penalty, when Brahim Diaz took the penalty, a lot of people are saying that he missed it on purpose. Now, I get it, because when he missed that penalty, there was not a lot of happiness and celebrations from the Senegal players who were outside the area. What I would say is that before Brahim Diaz took the penalty, he kissed the ball twice. So I'm not sure. Yeah, they told the Senegal players that he would miss, but they didn't tell the Morocco players who were actually taking the penalty that he would miss. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So I'm not sure it's a penalty. It was a penalty missed on purpose. I'm not sure. However, what I would say is that you can't really justify a terrible penalty by Brahim Diaz by saying, oh, he missed it on purpose. You can't justify it. If it was like a penalty where he made a shot where he skied it over the bar, let's say he skied it over the bar, and maybe he made a straightforward pass to Mendy and he holded the ball, then yeah, maybe. But he tried a Panenka. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure he missed it on purpose. I'm not sure. And then goes extra time, and Pape Gueye, what a goal. What a goal. What a brilliant finish. It was assist from another Gueye, Idrissa Gueye, but it was a great finish from Pape Gueye. Fantastic goal. Senegal had a great Morocco had a couple of chances after the goal from Senegal. Senegal had an open goal chance to make it 2-0 and they missed it. And yeah, what a game. What a game. What a crazy game. What a final. But Senegal win the AFCON. They win their second AFCON in 6 years. Second AFCON for Sadio Mane, who's going to be potentially his last African Cup of Nations for Senegal. So, huge congratulations to Senegal. They deserved it. Listen, this Senegal team is not as good as, let's say, the 2022 year, where they were absolutely in Africa. They were kind of unbeatable team and at their peak. But this team, they were not. Senegal are not amazing going forward, in my opinion. But defensively, they have the willingness, they have this desire, and they have the experience of winning AFCON in the past. They had the experience, and they use that experience very well. And they have quality players in midfield. Lamine Camara, Idrissa Gueye, quality players, top quality players. Sadio Mane, stepping up for Senegal. Once again, not as this final, but he showed leadership, by the way. Mendy had a fantastic game. And Senegal, let's not forget, they were without Koulibaly in this game. They were without Koulibaly, and for 90 minutes before extra time, for 90 minutes, Senegal, I think they conceded only one shot on target to Morocco. And Senegal were without Koulibaly, one of their best players. That's how resolute Senegal are. That's how strong they were. The mentality was top from Senegal. And a lot of things went against them. Before the game especially, where they were complaining about the hotels, and they're not the first team to do it, I have to be honest. Egypt were complaining about that. Pape Theo was not happy about some certain things, and he was talking about it before the match. There was low number of fans of Senegal coming to the stadium compared to the huge number of fans to Morocco, and there were a lot of things going on. The hotels was a problem as well, etc., etc. Training, etc. A lot of things that Senegal were not happy about, and it was understandable because, let's be honest, Morocco, they do it up, they're doing it on purpose. Let's be honest, they did it on purpose because they're so desperate to win a first trophy since 50 years. So yeah,